Here's the next project. 12-inch blank, very wet. Fresh cut alder, 12 inches diameter. Roughed it out on the chainsaw and then cut the corners on the bandsaw. I hope I got it trimmed close enough. Turn this on by hand this time, in case I got a corner too long. Just hear it ticking. I think that's the corner of the bark. Right here. Rubs right there. This is going to be interesting. I'm going to start with all the support I can get. 350. Change to low gear. The lathe has 3 speed range selections. I usually operate on the middle range, but for this big bowl, it's low speed. I need more torque, so I switch to low range. Maximum speed in low range is about 550. I think what my problem was here, the tool rest is not high enough and I can't keep the bevel on the blank. Keep in mind this was 6 months ago. I'm a little bit better at this now. I extend the quill almost to the full length of its travel to make more room for the banjo and the tool rest. As balance increases, so does speed, all the way up to 400 now. I'm still not comfortable with pull cuts, so I practice when opportunity arises. I haven't yet figured out why I have so much trouble controlling this 3/4 inch deep fluted bowl gouge. It's the same grind as my 1/2 inch gouge, and that doesn't give me any trouble. When I'm handling this gouge properly, it's a joy to use. I wasn't yet thinking in terms of a twice-turned bowl, so I decorated the bottom a little. Oh, maybe too small. Yeah, much too small. It's going to be a mortise. A change in blend from tenon to mortise would cost me a little bit in bowl height, but I had plenty of wood to work with. I cut a divot to mark center. I cut it much deeper than necessary. I use a spindle detail gouge to clean out the dovetail. I clamp the chuck into the mortise and spin it up a little to be sure it turns true. Now, got a mortise in there. It runs to about here, 19. I didn't trust myself to start this cut with a gouge when I'd be cutting more air than wood, so I used a parting tool until I got down past the air. speed is up to 565. That's as fast as it will turn in low range. I take time out to move the belts back to the middle range so I can turn it faster. I stand out of the line of fire and turn up to speed.
700. That'll work. Okay, we're at the bottom. Come just a little more off of here, and then round that out. I'm not sure I like this tool though.
This late in the project, I'm still thinking this is going to be a once-turned bowl, but it's so wet, I'm beginning to reconsider.
I'm going to put this in a bag with all these wet chips. There's a bag. Nice wet shaving. So we have a bowl that has enough thickness, I think, that no matter how much it deforms, we can true it up. I might just like it the way it ends up and leave it that way.
Putting the bowl in a paper bag with the wet chips that just came out of it will slow the drying and perhaps it won't crack.
2022, June 19th.
My shop flooded in the annual December monsoon, and some of the bags containing bowls got wet, so I unpacked all of them.
June 19th. This one, June 19th.
I wasn't sure I was going to turn this one first, so I wrote the date directly on the bowl.
Ten, 9, about 9 or 10% everywhere. Definitely not round anymore. This is going to be interesting. And I do not want anything that big. More like that. This one has the advantage of already being warped. Oh, but it's going to be, oh, it's going to be just right.
I decided to make a 3-inch mortise, a little larger than optimum, but one that would ensure the corners of the chuck jaws did not mark it.
I can't believe this. That right there, perfectly.
As uneven as the rim of this bowl is, it turned very close to true.
Can't do any better than that. Would like to get something under here.
That opening is almost half the circumference of the bowl.
Need something there.
I shaped a scrap of wood on the bandsaw that I could slip under the rim and move it to where it was tight and would not fly out. Cutting a straight-walled mortise with the tailstock and live center in place was a challenge. My homemade, easy on the hands chuck key. This inexpensive chuck isn't very smooth, so I don't know if I'm turning against the resistance of the wood or internal resistance in the chuck. So I tighten each side several times to be sure.
Moment of truth. I am well out of the line of fire. 800. That's very interesting. I'll be working behind. Get this trued up. Could have done that before. Didn't think of it. It looks like the bark's staying on. That's good. We'll get true live edge out of this.
It didn't occur to me to true up the bottom at the same time I was cutting the mortise, and I'm paying for it now, working very close to the chuck and worrying about slips. That apparent wobble in the bowl while I'm making the cut is an optical illusion caused by a slight change in rotational speed in relation to the frame rate of the camera. As I approach the uneven rim, I make sure the pressure is down on the rest and not into the wood. It's not round yet. Almost there. Working from the top down in hopes of keeping the bark on. Scraping makes a lot of dust, but I have to move the lathe a little bit to get the dust collection door open. My dust collection exhaust fan blows everything straight outside, but it only works if the shop door is open to let in replacement air. Those are nice shavings from dry cross-grain wood. The gouge is sharp.
Well, one thing I've learned is extra time spent in shear scraping pays dividends come sanding time. There's a little bit torn there. That's it. I think I might be able to reach that with my homemade. Oh yes. We are 3/4 of an inch down there.
That's 3/4 of an inch from the bottom of the bowl now to the mortise. My homemade calipers are pretty flimsy, but they work.
We're down about 3/8.
And they're thin enough to fit between the jaws of the chuck. I mark high spots with a pencil. To smooth the bottom, I use a 1-inch square end scraper ground with a slight radius, so I can scrape a flat or nearly flat surface without digging in corners. I've done all I can with a straight scraper, so I switched to a 1-inch round scraper.
Not aware when I'm lifting a corner from the rest. I need to become aware.
Finally, I was satisfied and it's ready for sanding. Torn end grain requires special attention. At last, it was time for sanding sealer.
I think all it needs is a little bit of buffing, maybe with a white pad. It's a white Scotch-Brite, not nearly as aggressive as the greenies. I think it's going to take just a little bit of sanding for steel wool. Oh, that was nice. Oh, nice indeed. I don't even know what the grade this wool is. It's what I had around. Some people specify 4/0. No idea what this is. But it works. That's the main thing. The lathe is on wheels if it seems a little wobbly.
I have the lathe wheels extended because the basement floor is flooded and then I had to move the lathe around to mop.
Okay. Unstable though it is, it will certainly be stable enough for axe.
A white rag or paper towel is the best way to check to be sure all the abrasive paste is off. After wax is applied, turn up the speed enough to generate heat to melt it in. 950 now. On the inside near the center, I'll turn it up much faster.
Okay, there's 1350. Ouch, god damn it. Hang on. Use both hands.
I use a toothbrush to clean the paste and the wax out of pores and rough spots in the bark.
Cleans it up. So tomorrow afternoon, I'll see what I can do about this interior here. I don't know what the dimension is of that dimple. Plenty of room. Still have 5/16 left, quarter anyway. So, the second turning. The first second turning. 3 more here. That would make a very good chuck.
It was hot in the shop. I had 2 electric heaters running all night to help dry up the flood waters. So I have the exhaust fan on and the door open, and it's too warm to wear a jacket or a hood. I am wearing safety glasses. Starting out with a 1/2-inch spindle gouge. The bowl is mounted on a jam chuck, which is that other unfinished bowl.
I'll take that. Yeah, there goes my nice clean floor.
After cleaning up and reorganizing after the flood, the floor was probably the cleanest it had been, well, since the last time it flooded.
Do have that little dimple. That's still almost 1/8 of an inch deep. I think a touch of glue and dust. No, sanding sealer, I think. Put on a little sanding sealer. And fill that hole with dust. It'll still look a little like a hole, but it won't look like a deep hole. I have things to do middle of the day, but this will be dry this afternoon, and we can finish. It's going to be a nice looking bowl. I like this twice turn business. Sanding sealer is dry. brace of paste for whatever color change it's going to bring out. Oh, should have branded it first. What a dummy. I like the way this came out. I got no criticism of myself. Oh, a tiny little rough spot here. Nothing in it. Interesting little marks here. Yep. Happy with this one. I know this was a long video. It was originally going to be 2, but then I thought, why not just show the entire process beginning to end? I think it's one of my nicest bowls yet. I'm happy. Thanks for watching.